Today I'm going to show you how to make my tried and true recipe for pie crust. I've already got my all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. I'll give this a quick little stir to combine those. My signature ingredient, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. This little addition increases the fat proportion, but it also coats each grain of flour so that when it's time to add the water, you won't overhydrate your dough. Now it's time to add the butter. I find it easier to dice up my butter and let it sit out. That way, your slightly softened butter takes half the time to work into your flour. You can tell when your butter is mixed in because the flour takes on a buttery yellow color. And there we go. Now, a 1/4 cup of cool water and 2 teaspoons of white vinegar or lemon juice. The acidity helps the proteins in the flour to relax. That means when you roll your pastry, it will roll easily. So I'll add this all at once and mix until the dough comes together. And there we go. You're not kneading this like a bread dough. You don't want to handle it too much. And if you're making a double crust pie, you shape it into 2 discs, one for the bottom and one for the top. And you want to wrap these and give them an hour to chill. I have my chilled pieces of dough, a little flour on your rolling surface, a little flour on your pin, and unlike a sweet dough, you don't want to knead your pie dough to soften it. You have to work with it from its initial shape. Start in small motions, back and forth, rotate, and if you see cracks start to develop, you can pinch them together. You don't need to grease a pie plate when you're lining it with pastry because all the butter is right here. But a little dusting of flour will help us pull out that perfect slice. To get your pie dough into your pie plate, you can roll it over the pin if you wish. Now we want to create a polished edge. Cinching the outside edge is not just aesthetic. You're locking the pastry onto the edge of the pie plate so it stays in place as it bakes, leaving lots of room for your filling. The next move is to dock the bottom of the pastry. This allows the steam from underneath to escape so you don't get a bubble underneath your pie dough. At this point, you definitely want to try and chill your pastry in order to maintain the shape and appearance of your pie shell. When it's time to bake your pie pastry, you have to put in a pretend filling, and that is called blind baking, to sort of trick the pie shell to hold its shape. So we're going to use dried beans to weigh down our pie pastry. You could use raw rice. Your oven should be preheated to 375 Fahrenheit. You bake it for 20 minutes with the parchment and the weights in place. Then lift out the weights and then continue baking for another 18 to 20 minutes. And there you have it, a flaky, buttery pie crust.